Let's take a look now at the AFC playoff picture, because when we mention this matchup, the headline here was the two quarterbacks. Not to be lost in that conversation is this is a massive win for the Los Angeles Chargers as they find themselves now in that final wild card position at 7-6. Might just be for about 24 hours. If the Patriots win, they will take over that 7th seed and bump the Chargers back to that outside looking in portion of the graphic. But as you assess the Chargers right now, B-Mac, with things sort of moving in the right direction coming off of this primetime victory, how does a team like this build off of a win like this?
This is huge because it builds confidence in the ball club, not to mention they're going to get healthier. So when you look at the Chargers in that wild card position right now and look at the teams that are fighting to get into that picture, you got to like the Chargers' chances. With Justin Herbert, as I said, he is a better quarterback when he has the likes of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams in the lineup. Offensively, on the offensive line, they will get healthy, right? They will get Bosa back in the fold. And you look at what they have going the rest of the way, schedule-wise, they have the Tennessee Titans at home. They travel to Indy. They got the Rams, and they have Denver.
Winnable.
Look at that. That's a favorable schedule. Favorable schedule. So, and the Jets and the Dolphins, they have to play each other. Then you talk about Miami traveling to Buffalo next week. That's a revenge opportunity for the Buffalo Bills, and they know how important that ball game is, especially playing right there in their crib. So when you look at what's surrounding the Chargers, it's safe to say the Cincinnati Bengals, I don't want to say they're safe, but I like what they're doing right now. I think the Cincinnati Bengals may win the division.
I'm with you.
But when you look at the Miami Dolphins, who are currently in front of the Chargers, and when you look at the Jets, who are currently right behind the Chargers, and of course you talk about the Patriots, those three teams got to play each other. So they potentially will knock each other out of the tournament in regards of in wild card seeding. So if they can stay healthy, Joe, Ryan, I like the Chargers to make the playoffs.
And that's a great point about the AFC East knocking each other out, B-Mac, because I wonder when we get to the end of this thing if the Chargers are going to look back to the Week 13 loss to the Raiders and wonder how it happened. Because as they sit here, they're 5-4 in the conference, and they're one game back of the Dolphins. Had they beaten the Raiders, they would be the 6th seed right now. Wouldn't have to worry about what the Patriots are going to do tomorrow night, win or lose. Patriots have a better conference record, so that would put them in the 7th spot. The Chargers will be on the outside looking in for a few more weeks. But you just wonder. But look, man, unless they got a time machine, you can't fix that. So as you point out, you got to move forward, you got to get healthy, and you got to win the games in front of you and let the AFC East punch each other in the mouth and let them sort it out. And I think, look, it's not the best possibility for the Chargers being the 7th seed, but it's better than it was coming into this morning. So it's a good start. You have to be extremely thrilled with how Justin Herbert played with all his playmakers there. Now you got to get Derwin James and Joey Bosa back and go from there.
And don't forget, Turo is the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Scan that QR code right there on your screen to book a car from a community of local hosts across the U.S., UK, Canada, and coming soon to Australia. Shifting our focus now to the NFC playoff picture, where, guys, there were some massive results on Sunday. The Seahawks on the wrong side of the graphic following a, inexplicable loss is a word to put to it, against the Carolina Panthers. Giants and Commanders, by way of that tie, do remain in that playoff picture. Cowboys all but solidified there at 10-3 as the Eagles continue to do what they do. The Eagles have locked up a spot. Let's go at it this way. Bryant, McFadden, what was the biggest result in your eyes here on Sunday?
Result, I think, for me was Seattle. That was a winnable ball game. And because of that, they're going to be in a dog fight the rest of the way, not taking care of their business against the Carolina Panthers. As you see it right there in your graphic, Washington and the Giants, they're clearly holding a wild card spot right now. They play each other this weekend. So, of course, one team will knock the other team out, temporarily speaking, in regards to the wild card spots. But for Seattle, at home against Carolina, team that has been spiraling in the wrong direction, it's not a given, of course, but that was a winnable ball game. So that could be something they circle right now and look back on at the end of the season if they don't find themselves in a playoff spot, having a playoff spot.
Yeah, Eugene Cyril Smith III didn't play up to expectations, there's no argument for me on that. And I love what Seattle's done this year, and I love Geno Smith. But, B-Mac, I understand why you don't want to bring up this next team, but I'm going to bring him up. My Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Those dudes have won 5 out of 6 games. And look, they're 2 games out of the final spot. but it feels like this team is not messing around. Dan Campbell took a year and a half to get this team where he wanted them, and they look like they're right where they need to be. James Williams finally comes off the ACL injury. First catch, touchdown, and that set the tone for the rest of that game. I love how this team is playing. There are huge question marks on defense, but they've gotten better each and every week, and they outlasted a Vikings team that had 10 wins coming into that thing. And this would be one of the most amazing stories should the Lions find a way to get into the playoffs after going 0-9-1 to begin last season. A lot of credit to Dan Campbell, a ton of credit to Jared Goff, who everyone, myself included, figured his career was over after he left Los Angeles. And this is a huge win for them, one of the biggest wins in recent memory for the Detroit Lions.
And that is how they see it here in Week 14. Ryan Wilson, Bryant McFadden, thank you, fellas.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.